Hey folks, Jessica here. So I'm back with another Row 4 class review. This time we're going to be talking about Chaos Ruler, which was specifically requested by one of you guys. Just a reminder, if you want me to focus on a particular class for the next video, just post down below and I will try and prioritize it when I'm going over what to cover next. Also, apologies for not getting these out sooner. I had intended to get these out pretty quick, but I got super busy at work. And then also Unite Fight hit, and even though I'm supposedly in a casual crew that only wants to get tier A and chill for the rest of Unite Fight, we ended up fighting for almost all our fights. We won most of them too, so it was worth it, but oh, it was so exhausting. We were apparently really bad at being casual. Yeah. So the next one will be faster, I hope. So Chaos Ruler is the extension of the Arcane Duelist / Dark Fencer line. It specializes in debuffing and disrupting the enemy by slowing down their charge attacks, by lowering their defense and attack, that kind of thing. Dark Fencer was considered like probably the strongest early to mid game class, just because being able to disrupt your opponent's like charge attack frequency, their Oogie frequency, it is just key for surviving a lot of the fights when your grid's not so developed. So looking specifically at their skills, Stall 3 is their innate skill. You cannot drop this one. All Dark Fencers have it. Or sorry, all Chaos Rulers, Chaos Looters. Did you ever hear the term Chaos Looter? They mean Chaos Ruler. I guess the term is because Vegeta's wearing a bikini. I don't know why people pick that one out, because a lot of classes wear stuff like that, so I don't understand why. But that's, if someone says Chaos Looter, that's what they're talking about. Granblue fantasy memes, don't get them. Anyways, so Stall does damage to a foe. That's not what you use it for. You use it for the delay portion. Delay will remove one charge diamond from your opponent if it lands. It usually lands, but it won't always land. Removing that charge diamond can be a really big deal. Like if you don't have a defensive summon or a damage cut up and you're about to take an Oogie to the face that would kill you, being able to delay that can save your life. In more advanced play, if something gets paralyzed and it's on like full charge diamonds, removing one of those charge diamonds with a delay can actually save your life also, because if you just leave it up to the paralyze, you can't predict when the paralyze is going to end, and you might be in the middle of an attack and then the paralyze ends and then you immediately get charge attack and die. That can like fights like Bahamut, that can happen. It's rough. So the delay is strong. I should also note, delay is not unique to Dark Fencer. There are other classes that can delay, and there are other characters that can delay. Uprising is an interesting one. I should mention that when Dark Fencer, sorry, I keep on mixing them up. When Chaos Ruler originally came out, it was probably the weakest of the Row 4 classes. It was patched not long after to become much more powerful and viable, and if you ever like look at some earlier discussion about Chaos Ruler and people say it's weak, that stuff's outdated. It's not weak anymore. So Uprising is a single target buff. It's got a 3-turn uptime to a 8-turn cooldown. So not a great uptime. It targets a single ally. It gives them 50% attack up, 30 to 35% double attack up, and uplifted. Uplifted is a buff that causes you to gain charge bar every turn you have it on. I believe it's 20% per turn. And to be frank, Uprising is not a great damage buff. Like, it's only one target, it's only double attack, not triple attack. The 50% attack up's fine, but I mean, if you want that, you could just take Rage, which hits your entire party. What it is good for, though, is if you have a specific character that you need to feed charge meter to. So, like, for example, Korwa is a classic example. Korwa, if you're not familiar with, she's got these very powerful buffs that she can keep rolling indefinitely, almost, if you can feed her a lot of meter. Casting Uprising on her is one way to keep her rolling those buffs, because she's got enough charge attack to reliably Oogie every few turns and maintain those buffs. Similarly, if you're running a character like Dark Jeanne d'Arc or Grand Catalina, those characters have elemental attack up on their Oogie, so you want to keep those up a lot, as much as possible, basically. So Uprising is good for that. Don't use it for damage specifically, but definitely use it if you got a character that can benefit from Oogieing a lot. I'm going to jump around a second. Other skills it has, Unpredictable is the one I want to cover next, because this is actually one of the more characteristic skills of, I almost said Dark Fencer again, Chaos Ruler. It's an attack and defense down, so it's Miserable Miss. It's exactly Miserable Miss. It's, I believe, 25% and 25% attack down, 25% defense down. The difference is it also causes a random debuff on enemy. Let me see if I can pull up a list of this. It can be double attack down, triple attack down, burn, sleep, blind, charmed, paralyzed, or petrified. It's random. I don't like random skills, but it is more powerful than Miss because, you know, if you land, like, if you get lucky and you land the blind portion, you don't have to take blind, which is nice. The problem with it is it's random. So, like, if you're counting on this to be your blind, it's not 100%, so you might just miss with it. It landing paralyzed or petrified could be really good, but that's fairly rare, so, like, again, it's random. But it is still, at the end of the day, a Miserable Miss. So it's worth taking. Oh, I should also mention that I believe, and you might want to double check this, but I believe the Paralyzed from Unpredictable does not trigger the boss debuff resistance to stack up. So, like, if you're doing Bahamut, for example, and you land Paralyzed with an Unpredictable, I don't think that will screw you over and prevent Song from landing her real Paralyze. While we're here, other things we can talk about. Absorption. Absorption was a skill added very recently, probably about 2 months ago, when a bunch of classes, both EX classes and Row 4 classes, got extra skills. Absorption absorbs, well, I mean, you can read it. All allies absorb 30% of damage taken. So you'll take the damage and it will be healed as HP instead of as damage. That's a weird way to word it. You know what it does. You get hit and that damage becomes health instead. I kind of like it. I haven't really played with it that much, but having a defensive ability on Dark Fencer is actually kind of cool because Dark Fencer is not an offensive class. It's a support class, and it also being able to fulfill like kind of it's only 30%, so it's not like a phalanx or something, but being able to do some defensive work and also heal a little bit on a class that is pretty much entirely support, pretty good. So definitely like recommend you check out Absorption. It also lasts 2 turns out of 6, so it's got decent uptime for this kind of skill. The last one, well, actually there's 2 more. Extended Mastery. Unpredictable. Oh yeah, I didn't take the other one. That's why it's not here. So the last skill for Extended Mastery skills is Chaos. Chaos, I can't actually bring it up here, but it's a field effect, so it affects all parties and the boss. And it reduces everybody's debuff resistance at fluctuating levels depending on how long it's up. I think it also boosts foes' special attack damage. It's interesting in theory. As with almost all of the field effects, the problem with it is more often than not, it's going to get you in trouble or someone else in your raid in trouble rather than helping out. And that's kind of the problem with the balanced fear effects, where they affect both your guys and the boss. There are field effects like, I think, Twilight Zone, which are one-sided, that only affect your allies. But yeah, because Chaos hits both sides, it can cause some nasty situations. If you really need a buff to land, like a debuff to land, then I guess you could Chaos to land it. But chances are, like, doing that is going to cause some people eat debuffs they don't want to eat. So, yeah, don't recommend Chaos. And as usual, if I haven't even picked it, it's probably because I don't think it's a very good skill. So, Dark Fencer, there you go again. Chaos Ruler is an interesting one to talk about, also because, unlike a lot of row 4 classes, it's not all about extended masteries. You actually do want to look at some of their standard sub-skills, because these are actually kind of more... These are more... It's weird to say they're signature because any class can take them, but these are like what people associate Dark Fencer... Chaos Ruler with. Blind makes it so your opponent has a chance to miss. That's pretty good. It can randomly save someone's life. It saves you like it would just save you taking a lot of damage over time. Gravity Wave is also very good, though be careful when you apply it, because if someone is counting on an Oogie going off, so like they've got their Phalanx up, and they've got their Athena called, and they've got 100% cut, and they're waiting to absorb that big hit, and then you Gravity Wave them, that person's going to be very mad at you. There's tons of memes about this, but it adds a charge diamond to the enemy's grid. Charge diamond bar, charge attack bar, whatever you want to call it. So like if they would normally charge attack on 4 diamonds, they'll charge attack on 5 diamonds now. So in that example, why that's bad sometimes is when I blow all my stuff to get 100% cooldown, I usually can't do it again immediately after. So I'm counting on that hit coming in, and then I will mitigate all of it with all my cooldowns. But now, if it gets gravity waved, and that extra diamond gets added, now all my defenses go up. The boss doesn't charge attack, so like they're kind of wasted. And now the boss is on full diamonds and gonna charge attack me, and I'm gonna die, and I'll be real mad at you. So that's the thing to be aware of with Gravity Wave. But generally speaking, Gravity Wave is good. If a boss is gonna like do a charge attack on 5 diamonds and you push that up to 6 diamonds, you are drastically cutting down the amount of charge attacks they're gonna do. And charge attacks are typically the most dangerous thing about bosses besides triggers. So yeah, Gravity Wave, pretty good. Just be careful when you use it. Miserable Mist. If you're gonna take Miserable Mist, just take Unpredictable. There's not real reason to take Miserable Mist as a Chaos Ruler. I don't know, if you don't want that random buff effect, or if you've already got 2 extended mastery skills, you can take this so you still get a mist type effect in your kit. And then, you know, that like stuff like Dispel, you could take any kind of debuff is good on Dark Fencer, and the reason why I say those are signature skills for Dark Fencer is Dark Fencers have a natural increased debuff success rate. The thing with debuffs is usually when you use them, you need them. You don't want to miss with things like a death down, that kind of thing. So Dark Fencer, God, okay, when I say Dark Fencer, I'm using it interchangeably with Chaos Ruler. I don't know why I'm doing that, but when I say Dark Fencer, I mean Chaos Ruler. You generally want the Chaos Ruler to be the one trying to land these debuffs, because there's a much higher chance they're going to land these debuffs. Also, along those similar lines, you do want to take like debuff success rate up. It's only 5%, but like every percent counts. Because like the reason to take Dark Chaos Ruler is for the debuffs. Also worth noting, they have increased debuff resistance. Not that big a deal. They can also use their skills more often. That can be helpful. Kitty, what are you doing? Every time I do one of these, my cats go nuts. Yeah, so that is Chaos Ruler. Another thing to remember, this is just like a refresher in general debuff resistances. If you are fighting a thing that is weak to your element, so like this Dark Fencer is, what are you? This one's my Earth Dark Fencer. So I'm advantaged against water. So if I'm fighting a water enemy, I have a much higher chance of landing my debuffs. If I'm fighting something that's off element, that chance goes down dramatically, and if I'm fighting like against the same element, it goes down even further. So you kind of want to only run Chaos Ruler if you're the proper elementally advantaged class. Otherwise, you negate that debuff success chance, and that kind of negates some of the reason to be a Chaos Ruler. So, do I recommend Chaos Ruler? And I'm gonna have to say, like, if there were three classes that I would say were the top three you should try and get fast, Chaos Ruler would probably be one of them, actually. Because, like I said, in early to mid-game content, the ability to muck up your opponent's charge attack, and the ability to like make sure you hit that def down cap, that's pretty strong. It drops. I mean, I will be honest, I don't see a lot of Chaos Rulers in super endgame content, just because by then people have more developed teams. They have more developed grids, they've got more HP, they've got more ways of mitigating damage. So, like, usually, like, messing with things like how frequently your opponent charge attacks isn't as big a deal. You usually... Kitty, my cats are knocking everything over. Things like a defense down, you probably get them from your other characters. If you're in a raid, someone's got a defense down, someone's got a miss, so you bring it specifically as your main character class stuff. Not really that important. Along with some... Why are they so bad? So yeah, along similar lines, if you're soloing, then Chaos Ruler can be pretty good, because like then you're the only source of the miss if you don't have it on a character, and you don't have like other people's phalanxes popping off all the time, or their panaceas to heal you. So being able to delay those charge attacks can be pretty big. So yeah, I wouldn't say it's like the top one. This is definitely not the first class you should get, but consider getting it. Like probably like in the first three, maybe the first 5 classes. Chaos Ruler should be one of them. So yeah, Chaos Ruler, pretty good. Definitely like one of the core ones. If for some reason you're super endgame and you completely skip Chaos Ruler, then, I mean, get it when you feel like it, because you should get them all, but not a huge priority super endgame. So yeah, that's how I feel about Chaos Ruler. I do not know which one I will cover next. I will probably cover another one that I recommend being an early pick next, just because, yeah, if you're just hitting like 101, you probably do want to know which ones you should prioritize. Anyways, I will catch you guys later. Post those suggestions down below. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Patreon. Check out my Patreon, check out my Twitter. Love all you guys. See you later. Bye.